The ECB risks legal trouble if it tries to extend the emergency powers of its pandemic bond buying plan to its other asset purchase program. Well, that's according to Executive Board member Yves Mersch. Joining us now for more is Paul Gordon, who leads our ECB coverage, who also spoke to Mr. Mersch. So, Paul, what exactly is the significance of these comments?
I would say it feeds into a debate that looked like it might have been getting started. There were reports earlier this week that some governing council members think the powers of the pandemic emergency purchase program are very useful and could be used after the pandemic crisis, perhaps in the existing asset purchase program. Mersch has been at the heart of ECB policymaking since the birth of the euro. He's a lawyer and he is responsible for the ECB's legal services, and he's warning of legal trouble if you go down that route. He's pointing out that the governing council always links the pandemic program and the special powers, the extra flexibility it has to the pandemic. That was in the monetary policy statement. It was in the legal text that went alongside it, and it's been in every speech since. So if you decide you're going to change tack, then you run a legal risk. So it's quite significant wording from him.
Paul, what does the economic outlook actually warrant, in terms of more stimulus? Would we get more stimulus in December?
Yes, of course. I mean, this doesn't rule out the ECB deciding the pandemic program needs to be bigger or last longer. And Mersch isn't prepared to go that far at the moment. He said that the outlook for the economy is in line with current projections, which are pretty poor, an 8% decline in GDP this year and only a partial rebound next year. He did say there are signs that perhaps the outlook could be a little bit better than that, but this all depends on the health situation. It's what he called a major caveat to any projections. If the health situation deteriorates, not just infections, but also the burden on the health service, then that could derail those scenarios. And in fact, we saw today, as you mentioned, PMI numbers coming out, which were really very poor for the service sector, which is the biggest part of the economy in the Eurozone. So that is at risk, and it does mean, I would say, that more quantitative easing, more pandemic purchases could yet be announced, as economists predict, in December.